Hey guys, Somebody's Gun here. Today we're going to be talking about end game principles. Now, it's hard to say you should always do this, you should always do that, but when it comes to end game, there's certain principles that are going to help you succeed if you work to implement them into your gameplay. So these aren't going to be steadfast rules that you must do in this situation, that situation, but rather just principles that you can build your end game strategy and technique around. One principle that you should always be implementing at any stage in the game is information. Information is key to success in a battle royale like this, especially in endgame when things get clustered and turn into chaos during rotations. So what we're going to see Eclipse do here is sit in a cone, gather as much information as he can, and find out where the people are around him that will help him make an educated rotate. Now, because he's able to sit here and gather this info, he's going to be able to pick up a free refresh, as we'll see here shortly. And that is because he's constantly looking to gain more info. So whether this be for a rotate, to try and get an elim, to try and find a pad, sitting in your cone to try and gain info here is key. And because Eclipse is looking for that info, he's able to get essentially a loot drop right on his head. Right here, we're going to do what I would call playing your loadout. So Eclipse knows he has floppers, he can sit in storm, and because of that, he's able to make a play for height. Not only can he make a play for height, he has multiple power weapons to win the game here. So you know RPG on height is one of the most powerful weapons in solos to put continued pressure on anyone that may try and make a play here. And because of this, he's able to knock down Squish, effectively stopping that high ground take from Squish. And now Eclipse has height as well as more vision because he's not going to have to worry about this play. And one of the easiest ways to win game is sit on height, have full rockets, and just rain them down below, let everyone else fight, and you take an easy dub here. So that's essentially what happens. Eclipse playing his loadout very well. You can do this in multiple different ways. It doesn't always have to be for the win. There could be times where you want to play your loadout just to get extra placements. Say you have a bunch of floppers, but your materials are shambles. Then it's time to play floppers in the storm, get those extra placements, and therefore you'll get more points. Because yes, you want to win every game, but sometimes it's better off to play for the next placement threshold or just the next few placements in general to get you more points in this game rather than trying to make a play to win. An extremely important principle is understanding your material economy. Being able to place builds to protect yourself but not overbuilding is constantly going to be a battle. But one person that does this so well is Kanata. Understanding where your old builds are, going back through them, using just the right amount of builds to stay safe but not overbuilding. And often players will get flustered and throw builds in places that are not going to help you. So, you know, an extra floor, an extra wall, an extra stair here or there may not seem like a big deal, but if you continuously work to improve on these things and limit the number of builds you have to use on a rotate, it's going to help you overall. So understand your material economy and make sure that you're placing the builds where you want to. The next principle is learning to limit your angles and areas of vulnerability. So some ways you could do this are play the front edge of Storm. You can also play in what I call the corners. So like not just the front edge, but on the far left, far right side of a zone. And this limits the areas that people can shoot you from that you have to worry about while rotating. Because if you're front edge, there's not going to be anyone in front of you. And if you're in a corner, there's very rarely going to be someone pushing on the outside of the zone on left or right side. And what we see Kanata do here is play that very well. Not only does he play that very well, as we continue to see him use the corners or sides, it's going to save him materials. So this is going to help you survive longer, save mats, and it's going to be typically less congested unless you're on the like backside corner. Just want to let this play out a little bit longer because he does have an amazing rotate here. And it doesn't always have to be front side of the zone. That's the safest angle you can play. But also, as you see with floppers, you can play the backside, which is also going to limit the number of people that are going to be in your areas of vulnerability or angles of vulnerability. The only problem with playing backside is there's going to be other players using floppers, which is going to limit your ability to safely save on materials because you still should be worried about multiple different angles. So that's why front side corners, those are going to be the best. Height has its own advantage. If you're on height, again, less angles you have to worry about. All you have to do is look down. Same thing with ultimate low. You don't have to worry about below you if you're on ultimate low, but then again, it's going to be more chaotic. So learning the benefits of each layer and area of the zone is going to be key for you. Next piece is setting up frags. So Mega's not a guy that's absolutely going to pop off in any game. He can by all means, but definitely prefers a placement style. And what we'll see here, besides this one elim, but what he's doing is sitting on the back edge of Storm and playing floppers. This will allow him to look for shambles people on the back end of Storm. That's going to allow for easier frags, and this is how you can set them up. He's not being super aggressive, jumping into people's boxes, rather just playing the back edge because he knows he has an advantage over these players. And because of that, it's just easily able to take tack shots, fire away at people that are shambles, and we see another one. Now, he doesn't necessarily need these frags, but again, because he's playing in a certain manner, he's going to be able to set up frags. Now, you don't always have to play backside to set up frags. You can find a player sitting in a box spraying and jump into that player's box, because if they're spraying at someone, they're not going to be paying attention enough to see you and really hear you in the end game chaos to jump in their box. So that's just another example of setting up your frag. I don't have a specific example of this, but I feel like this is a very easy concept to understand. Don't get tunnel vision. We can do this both when going for a frag, an elim, trying to grab loot. It often happens when someone's trying to grab loot. You will just get totally tunnel visioned, forget what's going on around you, and then you'll be an easy elim because your focus is on the loot instead of trying to understand everything that's going around and going for a safe play for loot. So just simply try not to get tunnel visioned. It's very easy to do it. You tag a guy for white and you're like, oh crap, I gotta go get this guy, I'm gonna chase him down. Like, he's an easy elim, easy points, but often it's gonna be better off if you slow it down, understand again the information that you can, what's going on around you, and then play based on that, as opposed to playing reactive to a single player or a single pile of loot. Like I said, you can easily get distracted. You see a gold weapon on the ground, you see a bunch of mats on the ground, and likely, if that's the situation, you're not going to be the only one going for that. So keep your head about you and make smart plays. Now, finally, the last piece I'm going to talk about may be somewhat controversial, but I don't think it should be. It's essentially playing for the next placement versus playing for a win. So at most points in the game, you're playing just to stay alive. Then at a period in time when you see it as advantageous to you, it's going to change game by game. You play to go grab a win. Now, some people play to grab the win earlier than others, such as going for height in 5th or 6th zone. And other people try not to take height till 7th or 8th, but they're still playing for the win. Now, What Stowe is doing right now is simply playing for extra placements. He has a loadout that's going to allow him to play for the win, but he's not necessarily playing for the win until he realizes that no one's on height. So once he realizes this, he takes the high ground and now plays for the win. Before, he was playing just to stay alive. And this happens, it's a constant struggle of telling yourself, okay, I need to just play for this next placement versus I need to play to win this game. And honestly, what you need to do at a certain moment in time is based on a lot of things. What is your loadout right now? How many other people are in the game? How confident are you in your ability to make a play to win the game? How many points do I need in order to qualify for the next round? Is this a tournament where I'm trying to get first and win all I can? Then, likely you're going to take more chances to play for a win. But is this a tournament where I need maybe 5 more points? I should play for placement more here to know I'm going to qualify for the next round. It's all situational and based on the context of your competitive event. So take that into account when you're trying to decide, okay, should I make a play to win or should I continue just to play for the next placement? Well, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Again, I don't think there's anything groundbreaking in this video, but what I do feel is that people should reinforce these principles into their gameplay to help them succeed on a consistent basis. You may be doing this 1 out of 3 games, 2 out of 3 games, but understanding these principles, thinking how you can develop your skills to fit what you need to do during an end game, that's going to help you succeed and that's going to bring you to the next level. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.